Among the most macabre and disturbing incidents of 2006, the Nithari case stands out. The Noida, Delhi municipality includes the hamlet of Nithari. Serious crimes such as sexual assault, murder, cannibalism, and attempted necrophilia were perpetrated in this case. The media paid attention to the case because of the unusual and severe nature of the offenses involved. The case was brought to light following a string of abductions of children and teens from the Nithari hamlet in 2005 and 2006. The disappearance enigma of the Nithari hamlet began to unravel step by step as a result of this case's investigation, which led to the location of Moninder Singh Pandher's home. In the year 2003, there were reports that an unusually high number of women and children were missing from Noida's Sector 31 of the Nithari village. Women and children had been reported missing from the village before Surinder Kohli arrived as Moninder Singh Pandher's housekeeper. Pandher was a businessman and owned home number D5 in Sector 31 of the Nithari village. The families of the victims told the cops many times that their loved ones were lost, but nothing was done. Then a girl named Rimpa Haldar, who is 14, has not been seen since February 8, 2005. Several times, her parents tried to file a missing person report for her daughter with the police but were unsuccessful. Some boys playing cricket found a hand in the plastic bag in the drain located behind D5. The matter was informed to the police, who declared the hand as an animal carcass and asked the villagers to forget about the incident as nothing was wrong. Missing since 7th of May 2006, a girl called Payal had previously told her father Nandlal that she was heading to the residence of Moninder Singh Pandher. Pandher and his servant Kohli resided in D5, so her father went there to look for her. Neither Pandher nor Kohli admitted to having any knowledge of Payal on that particular day in Noida. The police declined to take Nandlal's missing daughter's case, even though he went to submit a report. After a month of going to the police and Pandher without success, he finally went to the then Noida SSP in June 2006 for assistance. The police began investigating Nandlal's missing daughter after receiving an order from the SSP to do so. The fact that Payal's phone was still active allowed the police to track it down. Kohli, who had phoned Payal the day before she vanished, was located through an analysis of the call information. In the course of their inquiry, the police detained Kohli, but Pandher swiftly had him freed. Although the police could not uncover any particularly noteworthy information that may have led them to Payal's location, Kohli's participation in the crime was clear. On October 7, 2006, Nandlal went to court because he was unhappy with the way the police were handling the matter. A warrant was issued for the case's investigation by the court. The cops found many garbage bags containing human remains in the sewer behind the home during their investigation. The proprietor of the bungalow, Pandher, and his servant, Kohli, were taken into custody on December 29, 2006. On December 30, 2006, further skeletons were recovered from the sewer. Both suspects were not strongly supported by the evidence. The finding of skeletons alone does not show that they were murders. However, the revelation sparked outrage across the nation, and calls for justice quickly followed. New information about the missing Nithari children and teenagers has surfaced as a result of the investigation into the Payal case. On January 11, 2007, the Uttar Pradesh government turned over the case to the CBI in response to mounting public pressure and anger. For a period of 60 days, the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, was unable to uncover any evidence against Kohli. As of the 27th of February in 2007, they submitted an application to the magistrate requesting that Kohli's confession be recorded, indicating that he was prepared to confess. An audio recording of Kohli's confession was made by the magistrate. In his confession, Kohli provided a detailed account of how he lured the victims into the house, where he murdered them, and attempted to have sex with their inert bodies, choped the dead bodies, ate their body parts, and threw the remains in the drain at the back of the bungalow. The victims included 9 female children, 2 male children, and 5 adult women. The confession that Kohli made said that he worked as a servant at Pandher's residence. Pandher used to dwell in the house by himself, while his family chose to make their home in Chandigarh. Pandher had a gardener, 2 drivers, and another domestic helper named Maya Sarkar working in his home in addition to them. All of these individuals were employed by Pandher. Kohli was responsible for all of the killings that took place in the drawing room between the hours of 9 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. After each murder, he would transport the body to a restroom located on the upper floor, where he would shred it into smaller pieces. It was only after he had cooked some of the body parts and consumed them that he would clean up the drawing room and the bathroom. He would leave the bathroom in that state. It is quite difficult to think that Pander and any other individual who worked for him and was employed by him did not notice any of these facts at any point during any of the murders. At the trial, none of them were called as witnesses. Dr. Vinod Kumar, who is the chief medical superintendent of Noida, informed that the surgical precision with which the bodies were severed raises suspicions of organ trading. It is not possible, according to the WCD assessment, that the trade in organs was the motivation behind the crime. After reviewing the report of the inquiry that was submitted by the district authorities, the expert committee came to the conclusion that the purpose of the murder and the method of operation associated with it were not entirely obvious. Even though the deaths occurred as recently as 2006, just the skull and bones were discovered. Only after a search that was carried out under the supervision of CBI was it determined that the accused had disposed of the torsos separately. Organ trade, sexual exploitation, and many sorts of crimes against women and children should all be investigated by the Central Bureau of Investigation. It is necessary to investigate the records of organ transplants held by all of Noida's hospitals in order to identify both the donor and the receiver. The Allahabad High Court freed Moninder Singh Pander and reversed his death sentence on September 10, 2009. The trial called him a co-accused when investigators initially did not identify him as a key suspect. Pander was acquitted, but the Allahabad High Court sentenced his former domestic servant, Surinder Kohli, to death clarification required. The Supreme Court of India affirmed both suspects' death sentences in February 2011. Kohli's mercy requests were denied by the Indian president in July 2014. In Nithari, the court issued a death warrant for Kohli on 3rd September 2014. Kohli was sent to Meerut Jail on September 4, 2014. Since Dasna Jail, Ghaziabad lacked hanging facilities. His hanging date was September 12, 2014. The Supreme Court postponed Kohli's execution sentence for 1 week after a petition. An excessive execution delay warranted mitigation. Thus, the court stopped Kohli's hanging at midnight. The Supreme Court bench, led by Chief Justice of India H.L. Dattu, dismissed the death sentence review appeal on October 29, 2014, saying the court had made no mistakes. However, the High Court bench, led by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice P.K.S. Bagal, modified Kohli's death sentence to life imprisonment on 28 January 2015 for inordinate delay in determining his mercy appeal. The latest CBI court hearing in Ghaziabad sentenced Kohli and Pander to death, case number 8 out of 16, on July 24, 2017. Citation required that Kohli was executed again in 2019 for his 10th conviction. After appealing, Kohli and Pander were acquitted on 16 October 2023. 17 years after the crimes were uncovered. Both were acquitted by the Allahabad High Court because of insufficient evidence beyond their admissions. The judgment shocked the victims' relatives, who wanted justice. After the verdict, security guard Papu Lal remarked, "We don't have this much money that we can keep fighting for justice for so many years." His 8-year-old daughter was slain in the serial killings. Durga Prasad, whose 7-year-old daughter was slain, said, "This court might have acquitted those monsters, but there is a bigger court of God who will not spare them." Comment down your views. What laws should be changed to eliminate this cannibalism? And do like, share, and subscribe to unfold such cases.